You know what I've been seeing very frequently recently? The term clone. I mean, I've been seeing fans calling some rappers clones of their favorite rappers, rappers calling other rappers clones of themselves. It seems that everyone's just biting everyone at this point. And sometimes I get where people are coming from, saying that a certain artist sounds like they're using someone else's flow or beat style in their songs. Like, there can be obvious biting, and sometimes it can be so obvious to the point where they're not just taking notes here and there, but it's like a straight up robbery. But other times, which I'm not gonna lie is the situation for most of these cases, these people are straight up reaching. I've seen some wild ass accusations against certain rappers. I mean, I've heard the classic Corleo's a Destroy Lonelier Summers clone. I've even heard people calling him an opium and slave fanboy that just so happens to be getting attention for his music. I've heard people calling Desire and TSMBZ the Dollar Store Summers. I've heard people accusing hard rock of just trying to be opium and copying their whole niche. I've heard people call Yeat a Cardi clone. Now I know he's definitely not underground anymore, but I'm just kind of throwing him in here. And I've even heard some people throwing the statement out there that Summers was biting Youngboy in his last album. Like, man, some of these are quite wild if you think about them. Like, it's easy to throw around the term clone without giving these artists a chance and actually sitting down and listening to their stuff with an open mind. But I guess most people just don't want to do all that. I feel like all these rappers I listed definitely have their own styles, even if some do seem like they're, in some cases, heavily inspired by someone else. Yeah, I can understand the Desire and TSMBZ clone accusations. They definitely sound like Reno, and they hop on the same Goyard, Zangang, Plug and B beats. But I mean, Desire is his brother, so of course they're gonna sound alike. But I feel like both BZ and him have their own things going for them. You just have to really tap in and give them a chance. Like, in the small amount of time that they've been doing music, they already have quite a bit of tapes out, which show just how much their sound has grown. And I mean, I used to think Desire and BZ were just Reno's crash dummies, so yeah. But man, saying that hard rock is just biting the opium style is crazy in my opinion. Like, the guy's music is pretty unique in the current scene, which is why he's going up right now. Like, I guess people just say that because he has a mysterious image and his music does have these dark ambient beats with occasional alternative sampling. He may draw inspiration here and there with the aesthetic or beat selection, but I'd say he definitely has one of the most refreshing sounds in the underground right now. And the people saying that Summers is biting Youngboy and Stuck in My Ways is just funny to me. I mean, yeah, I know he's like a big Youngboy fan and that he sometimes hops on the same Louisiana beats, but he never drops those songs because he knows that people will be on his ass for that shit. But yeah, I've heard the accusation that he's trying to be Youngboy by using these acoustic beats and singing on non-plug-in B songs. Yeah, I'm telling you, they really just be reaching with some of these. I mean, people are just trying to find anything to nitpick about his album. I just feel like people are trying to find coping mechanisms for themselves because Reno's music is evolving and he doesn't want to only hop on plug-in B beats now. Now, this next one is interesting. Ever since Yeat started blowing up in the summer of 2021, people have thrown around the accusation that he's just riding on the rage wave that Cardi started with Whole Lotta Red, which I guess he was hopping on these kind of beats, but they weren't complete copies of those used on Whole Lotta Red. Yeat also added his own shit to the songs, like the different voices he uses, the ad-libs, and the vocabulary. So saying that he's just a Cardi clone or even bites Cardi at all is not very valid, and especially calling him that now that he's dropped Life and Afterlife. I mean, Life showed the development and improvement of a sound, and Afterlife solidified that he's now on a whole nother level and style with that dark Benny X production. And now, saving the one with the biggest of cases made against him last, we have Corleo. Now, in the clone accusations court, I generally look at things like flows, ad-libs, beat selection, and aesthetic to determine if whether or not someone's a clone. So Corleo is by no means all that unique, I have to agree on that. I mean, there are several songs where he imitates Summers or Lone's flows, even straight up using Lone's ad-libs, and he does hop on some beats that, yeah, you understand by now. And with all that being said, I still think he's fire. Like, his shit is catchy. He knows how to make good music. He may take inspiration from others, but he sort of blends it into his own sound. If you still think that Dom Corleo is just a great value destroy lonely, it's okay, alright? I used to be a hater too, I'm not gonna lie. But then I decided to give his music another try, and that shit started growing on me. Like, he really puts out bangers, and he's improving with every new release. In conclusion, originality is dead if we're keeping it real, or at least it's very, very rare. Like, whose work in the world is 100% original that takes absolutely zero inspiration from anyone else? Sometimes the influence is subconscious, like you might not even realize that you're biting somebody. So yeah, I feel like while some of these rappers could be a little more original, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being inspired by someone else, unless it's blatantly obvious. And the rappers I mentioned are either on their way to really crafting their own sound and niche, or are already there, but for some reason still get these brain dead comments.
I'm not into you. Seasons. Nigga,